married to this gang. That's who I made my wife. Said I die alone, I told that bitch she probably right. One thing that's for sure, not a stranger to this life. Got a safe that's full of Franklins and a shoulder full of stripes. I don't know a nigga like myself. I say self-made, meaning I design myself. County jail fade, you can pull my file yourself. Spot raid, swallow rocks, I'm getting high myself. Nah, damn right I like the life I built. I'm from West Side 60, shit I might got killed. Standing so tall, they think I might got stills. Legendary baller like Mike, like Wilt. 96 Impala, thug life on wheels. Up against the wall, squabble at Fox Hills. Like a motherfucking boss, ask me how I feel.
Yo, this your boy Chef Crypto Chris live in the building. This Web Runners live in the building. Motivation Mondays, let's get it.
Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life I've been grinding all my life, look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, I got everything I said I was gonna get on my kid. In addition to that fact, I went legit. I'm the shit now, according to the way that I'm positioned. In this biz, it look like I'm just gonna keep on getting rich. Know them West Side RSCs is us. LAPD on my dick, I'ma squeeze and bust. If a rap nigga diss, switch cheese and bust. All this rap money, nigga, look, I need too much. Money, loyalty, and love, in the dream we trust. You'll be switching up the players on your team too much. Tiny Copy, that's my low, Young Supreme, what's up? And we travel around the world getting cream or what? Ain't you get off on whoever hustle seem to rush? Las Vegas strip pop, yeah, you creamed them punks. After all that looking tough, all he seen was stunts. 50 Cent and Mayweather flee the scene with us. True story. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look.
RP Nipsey, baby. Let's get it, man. I am on one tonight, obviously, man. My mics, between my mics and stuff, I'm acting like it's been just that long since the last time I've been live, man. It's gonna take a minute for the chef to get used to his new sets, but as you can see, I've been thinking about my viewers and been trying to create an experience for you guys. How y'all like my new digs, man? I think it's pretty spiffy. Shout out to the Nipsey. Shout out to the great Nipsey, man. Shout out to the legend, dog. You already know what I'm saying. This episode, we're going to dive right into why the marathon continues. I feel like this man was a staple center in the Web3 community before we even knew what the fuck Web3 was. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, rest easy to Nipsey Hussle, man. You know, Mr. Hussle put forth a lot of great music, great technology, great opportunities for people of all walks of life, but especially my culture, to sit up here and have a blueprint to gain some understanding on and to be able to grow and thrive, man. You know, our young king was sadly gunned down March the 31st. I have a little on 2019. I got a little difficulty talking about that because I remember where exactly I was in the moment it wound up happening when I got the news, and it really blew me, man, because I felt like I had lost a friend. I felt like I lost a mentor, you know. So this episode is definitely a dedication to him and his legacy and what he left behind. You know, just a couple of days ago, I want to say like 3 days ago, he just dropped his special about the marathon cultivation, and it dove into the mind frame of how this guy had came up with, him and his team, man, they came up with this idea to get everything legitimate, you know what I'm saying, and to be one of the first people of color with a legitimate dispensary, and that right there in itself is truly amazing, man. But this episode, we're going to be diving into a little bit of what Nipsey brung to the technology space. I know if you are a returning viewer, you had tuned in a few episodes a while back. I had dove into a little bit of what Nipsey brought to this space and how he made an impact in this space, whether a lot of people know it or not. But the Web3 space in general, as far as the dynamics of the Web3 space, it depends a lot on culture. And I see a lot of people say the word culture and things, but you know, the origins and the basis of it is into the culture of a person and a being, and the fabric of the current culture today really lies within hip hop. You know, I did my recent studies on a few of Nipsey's interviews, and one in particular that he had with Gary V that kind of stood out to me, how, you know, how ahead of his time this man was, you know. And I have to keep myself from choking up, man, because it's like I wouldn't be in my position right now, and a lot of the things that I'm able to do wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you. Like, seriously, dude, this avatar, the NFT, having augmented reality, you know, AR, VR, all these things, you know, not necessarily saying that you're the one who started them, like you created the technology, but you brought awareness to it, and you brought awareness to a lot of different aspects of technology and just a lot of different aspects of life in general that I think a lot more people need to be more aware of, man, because you were brilliant, man. And I just hate we lost you so much before your time, man. But you know, through myself and through many others down here, the marathon will and shall continue. You know what I'm saying? So long live Nip, man. Shout out you, dog. Like, I wish I could have gave you more flowers while you were here, man. But let's dive right into it, man. One of the biggest things that Gary V and Nipsey discussed was the idea of hacking culture, if you will. So, I mean, when you think of culture, what actually do you associate with culture with? Because when I see the word culture, I definitely think of my community and things that I grew up around, but it's like three things in particular that stand out the most, and that's going to be art, it's going to be music, and it's definitely going to be fashion. And I think this space in general has been able to captivate a lot of what art is through mediums of music and fashion and just art in general. And I think along the way, a lot of people got kind of sidetracked by just the bag and the opportunity to get the bag versus actually creating stuff of substance. And that's kind of where we at today. And that's one of the main reasons why web runners exist today, because, you know, we got to continue to bridge that gap between culture and technology and not allow it to get diluted between, you know, chasing the bag, between trying to establish yourself, and between trying to create a environment that is going to be acceptable for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You can't leave your core values behind just because you want to be inclusive. Because at the end of the day, you know, I'm saying, like, it's just facts. This culture right here that we have created, it has become an inclusive culture, but this is a culture directly derivative of people of color and people that, you know what I'm saying, that are kind of have become, if I don't want to get tied up with my words here, man, but, you know, we get overlooked a lot, and in scenarios we get taken advantage of, and people around this world have been taken advantage of all their life, but nothing like, you know, black people, man. And it's a sad fact. But, you know, this episode isn't about taking advantage of black people per se. This episode is about, you know, admonishing culture and giving flowers where it's due, man, and just acknowledging the aspects that we have within culture and within technology that made so many opportunities available today for all of us. and that we can look forward to expanding and expounding in our lifetimes. First and foremost, before I dive any further, I apologize about any issues with connection or with my avatar or anything. I'm working in a new setting, so it's kind of different getting used to new surroundings, but the chef gonna keep on cranking it out. I feel like it was long overdue. I felt like I left my people out here waiting. My community need me out here to bring you that good vibes, those good motivational energy waves straight to whatever you're going through right now. I know it's been a difficult week for myself, and I just felt like the best thing for me to do was just go ahead and push it out and get the ball back rolling, dog. So, I mean, it was something that Nipsey and Gary V had wind up saying that I think made a lot of sense too, and I started doing some research into that. And I noticed that a lot of you guys out there that have created projects, NFT projects, have done a lot of research as well, because a lot of your color bases and a lot of the designs and the traits kind of resemble a lot of the fashion wear that was around that began to originate in the early 2000s, going like leading into the Y2K. So just speaking of Y2K in general, like I was back there in 1999, man. You know, I'm a little seasoned, and I remember all the hysteria about everything resetting and technology was going to fold, and the computers wouldn't know how to react to everything being 111 or whatever the situation was, and it was just so much widespread panic and so much misinformation. There was a lot of misinformation about what was going on. And then it was like, all right, December 31st, 1999, I went to sleep. And the first thing I went to when I woke up in the morning was the clock and the computer. When I woke up the next day, January the 1st, year 2000, I went to the clock and the computer, and I was like, I remember this as a kid, because I'm like, this was like a Staples Center moment for my childhood, just like 9/11 was. You know what I'm saying? The Y2K was big, 9/11 was big, war in Iraq, all those, like, they ain't too pretty to be talking about, but those were like very impactful times in my timeline. So that gives you a good idea of how long the chef been kicking up dirt around here. You understand? So yeah, man, we woke up. I woke up the next day. The world woke up the next day, and it was life. It was another day. Like, nothing crashed, nothing was faulty. Robots didn't attack the world, man. I mean, it was another day. It was another year. It was another millennium. It was another opportunity to advance and innovate. And innovate is what we did in the early 2000s. It was like a spark of creativity, if you will, with definitely with fashion. You see a lot of velour suits, velour track suits starting to spark around. Baby Fat had the blinging velour velour track suits. You had Juicy Couture. You had brands like Ed Hardy just getting about with those loud colors and graphic designs that really like made the images pop and made the colors pop and just gave it life. You know what I'm saying? And it's some other brands that I know stood out. Like I want to say Abercrombie came out around then. Shit. Man, year 2000s was like the spark of like baby entrepreneurship, if you will. It was like it's almost like if you look at timelines within like 20-year increments or so, you'll see waves of like fads resurfacing, trends resurfacing, and new waves being created around that timeline as well. It's kind of weird how we're kind of habitual creatures in a way, and we wind up seeing ourselves double back to a lot of things that we've already experienced before. Like when the 2000s had hit, I want to say we were reliving some of the 80s times. So it was like a lot of people, well, in all honesty, nobody was trying to relive the 80s. So that's where the creativity sparked that, and it created a new trend. But if we look at like the '90s were definitely a mimic of the '70s, and how free the '70s was, and how kind of the hippie vibe, if you will, kind of rolled over, and the disco vibe rolled over into the '70s. And you can see a lot of that translating into the '90s. But I mean, a lot of these designers, Sean John was another one too, man. Like that was when Diddy had took off with his own clothing line. So it was a lot of you can say a lot of crossovers between music and fashion in the music and fashion industry. So it was a lot of interacting in between the two. And one of the words I like to use, one of my buzzwords for Web3 is like they had seamless integration. So it was almost like you couldn't tell the two apart between like a record label and a fashion company at this point in time, because they were both pumping out quote unquote content. They were both pumping out material and product almost at the same level. At this time, I can imagine that Diddy had a full roster on Bad Boy. We're talking about they were doing making the band around then. They had Loon. They had oh man, they had a lot of people. They had May still on the team. He man, yeah, he still had G Dep, all them guys. Like that was around the time like TRL was bumping. Like culture was taking a major shift towards technology at this point in time, towards us embracing what was to come in the future. And it's like the 2000s kind of prepared us for where we are today. A lot of things kind of sparked back then that resonated today, that kind of like resurfaced. Like for one, with the avatar that I'm using, and how the whole setting from vlogs and how these type of videos and this type of content has wound up sparking interest. Maybe not so much in certain areas, but just in general. If you go on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of videos that are similar in nature to this type of setup, just all based upon different subjects and different attributes, if you will. So it's kind of like we regurgitated the old 2000s into 2020s and refined everything and gave it a more modern touch, if you will. So that's kind of where we at with how things wind up gracing over the years. But diving back into Nipsey, man, this dude, if you haven't studied up on Nipsey Hussle, if you haven't caught some of his music, if you haven't, forget all that. Before you catch a song, before you dive into his documentary or any of that, go look into some of his old interviews. Go find out who this man is. Go understand his caliber of thought, even in the position that he was in, even in the community that he was in, even under the circumstances that he faced day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? He got the name Nipsey Hussle because he was a hustler, dog. Like he was out there hustling, and he knew that he had to make a way. He knew he had something. He knew he had something to offer. He knew he had something to provide to his community, to the streets, to himself, to his family. And he knew that he wasn't going to let anything stand in his way. And it's that type of tenacity. It's that type of drive. It's that type of push. It's that type of motivation that, you know what I'm saying, lights a fire in my ass. When I look at my family and I look at what I need to do as far as taking care of my responsibilities, and I think about how I can be a better service to my community and how I can leverage technology in a way that it's going to be beneficial for those around me, and it's going to be beneficial for myself, and it's going to be able to help in more ways than just creating content. You know, I see a bigger picture with technology. And I think Nipsey was on a lot of stuff as well. He definitely was an innovator. He was way before his time. And I feel like he kind of reared in a new era of creativity, and he was giving people the ability to be comfortable in diversity. And what I mean by that is not necessarily diversity in the way that we normally think about it, but comfortable in being who you are and accepting your gifts and your talents and your traits and learning how to expound on what is versus always worrying about what isn't. Perfect example. He took the opportunities that he had in his neighborhood and he expounded on them. Him and his brother and some neighborhood friends, they wind up, they went from hustling on the corners in his lot to actually buying and leasing out a store in this lot. And basically, they renovated this entire lot and made it thrive again. Them bringing back business to that particular setting created a buzz for Crenshaw and Slauson. It created a buzz for Nipsey and his people, and it created a necessary buzz that started getting him the attention that he needed to be able to succeed in the areas that he was about to transpire on, man. I mean, at the point in time, I knew he had big visions, but I don't think he fully understood what his purpose was going to wind up panning out to in the long run. And I'm glad that he just stuck with it. I'm glad he had the drive he did because, we all are given the same 12 hours a day and the same 12 hours at night to take advantage of. And, it really just boils down to, like, it was a part where Gary Vee and Nipsey was talking. If you have the talent, right now is the time to be hacking culture and taking advantage of any way possible that you can gain exposure and get yourself in front of people, because right now people are in a devouring mindset, if you will. They're devouring content left and right, but the content is coming at them from all different angles that it's like the Wild West out here. So you can literally get in your own niche. Like right now, I've narrowed down that I want to be able to expound more so on augmented reality and virtual reality than any other aspect in Web3, because I think what I'm doing right now with the chef as my void and becoming my personal brand and my persona now as the face of this company is fucking awesome. I think that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And then when I found out about what Nipsey was doing with this clothing line and his apparel, and when you just walk into the Marathon store and you pull out your phone and you scan that QR code, and from there it's like a full immersive experience. Granted, I'm pretty sure he was here today, 4 years later, the shit would have been holograms dropping down and you wouldn't even need your fucking phone. The experience will start as soon as you walk in the fucking building. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's going to come a time that somebody's going to have to pick up the ball where this man left off and continue the marathon, man, because the marathon continues. This shit don't stop when I leave here. It didn't stop when he left, and it won't stop after we gone. We got to continue to keep on pushing forward, and we got to continue to uplift our youth and put them in the position that they can thrive and succeed and leave a blueprint here for them so they can expound on the areas that we wind up falling short on. But, man, I mean, it's a lot of different ways to hack culture right now, and I think Nipsey was just like, again, he was ahead of his time, even with the weed cultivation. If you haven't checked out that documentary, I just started watching it before the show went live, and I had to stop. I was a little aggravated that I started it before I went live because I was like, dang, you knew you weren't going to have the opportunity to finish the show, and you started it anyway, but it started getting good, man. And it opens you up to be able to see inside the mind of Nipsey and the people that was closest to him and just understand his passion behind it, understand how his vision started as a small mustard seed and it bloomed into this beautiful flower. And he's able to take care of his lineage and his estate beyond, you know what I'm saying, him no longer being with us here in the physical. And I think that right there in itself is one of the main reasons, like, I consider him like a mentor and just an advocate for this space and a true leader of innovation and technology, because I mean, This dude made sure that he did what you was supposed to do. He came down here. He set a message, you know what I'm saying? Like, granted, everything didn't start off rosy. You know, he had to do what he had to do. Same thing with me. Sometimes people have to adjust to the life that they were given, you know what I'm saying? And you have to make do with what you've been given in order to get where you need to go. But you never lose sight of what that ultimate goal is, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like people like Nipsey always knew that they was going to have an impact in the world. And that's the same way I feel right now with web runners. That's the same way I feel right now with my brand in itself, you know what I'm saying? Like this is just the beginning origins of something that is going to expound and create opportunities for other people in the future. I've been talking to a lot of people this week, even though I've been having my own IRL situations. I've been talking to some people that wanted to network and, you know, basically increase awareness about this space, but in different genres. Because, like, pretty much everybody has a good idea of, like, well, I'm not going to say a good idea, but they've heard of Bitcoin and Ethereum and things like that, or Doge. Yeah, you've pretty much heard one of them. But when it starts to dive into NFTs and AR and the metaverse and things of that nature, you know, that's a whole different ball game. And I didn't necessarily look at myself in this way initially, but I have become somewhat of an innovator and advocate for this space as well. And, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand with as much time and effort and how much fun I have in this space that people have been reaching out to me to be able to set up classes and seminars and things that nature. So I'm looking forward to being able to network and expand my horizons, expand my reach beyond my current community and reach out to other people and, you know, spread the message of the good gospel and get this word out, man, that this technology is here, that opportunity is here, and the chance to transform something that you have that lies within you into something that is powerful and prominent and that's able to radiate out amongst others is something that I want everybody to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether you want to or not, you got a gift inside you that you need to be letting out. Like, if you out here doing some good and you holding on to it, man, you really doing yourself an injustice. You know what I'm saying? This space right here allows you to be free. It allows you to grow and to nurture yourself and to put yourself in a position that you can become anything you want to be, man. For real. So, one of the key things that Nipsey had went over was, like, don't get lost in, like, the numbers and the metrics. And I've been told that recently about my brother. You know, I may have mentioned, like, I pay attention to the views. I pay attention to followers. I pay attention to, you know, notifications, right? Because I'm just trying to gauge my engagement and see if I need to increase or decrease or just, like, you know, I guess get an idea if the approach that I'm using with marketing and things of that nature are getting the job done. But at the end of the day, you know, I feel that it's kind of like somewhat of a popularity contest going on right now. So that's why I can't get too caught up in the hype of what numbers are going through and what numbers aren't, because at the end of the day, as long as I'm creating value and as long as I continue to be consistent and as long as I continue to do what I set out here to do, then we're not going to have nothing to worry about. And that's the same thing with you in your life. No matter what your situation is, no matter if you're dealing with a 9-to-5, no matter if you're dealing with trading, no matter if you're dealing with trying to build within the community, you're trying to get your foot in the door on Web3 and trying to make a name for yourself out here building content, you have to put your best foot forward, and you have to know that no matter what, that you're going to be capable of doing this shit and that you're going to knock it out. Don't let nothing stand in your way. Don't let nothing deter you from making that bag, dog, and putting yourself in position that you're going to be on point no matter what. You want to always know that them numbers, the reason you ain't getting lost in the metrics is because they can get manipulated. You know what I'm saying? And I know I've talked before in the past about how I've felt like I've been in a trade or something of that nature, and then next thing I know, the situation kind of like did a flip, and I was like, man, that's like instant manipulation. So, yeah, man, I'm almost 100% sure that this space is toyed with to a degree. So, I mean, don't get so caught up in the hype. Be aware of what's going on, but don't be so glued to the numbers and the number system. Don't be so glued to your amount of followers. You know what I'm saying? That's a perfect example. Don't be so glued to the amount of followers that like you have or that other people have that's going to jurisdict how you navigate with these people. That's going to jurisdict if you like, do you trust somebody that has more followers than the next person? Do you think their word is more reliable? Do you feel like the information that they're going to provide you is going to be more substantial than, say, for instance, web runners with 15 followers? You know, we got 15 followers, but the content that you're going to get here is going to be beneficial, not only for your life, but for those around you. So it's all about perception. It's all about how you perceive things, and it's all about what you're trying to get out of it at the end of the day. If you're coming in here not expecting to get anything, then 10 times out of 10 you gonna walk out with shit in your hands. That's just the way it is with any scenario. So you want to make sure that you're coming in with the open and clear mind, and that you're ready to learn, and that you're ready to receive. Because right now, we gonna learn how to penetrate underpriced attention. What does that even mean? Taking advantage of all this free shit. Perfect prime example. One of the hacks that I have to learn is TikTok. Right now, TikTok is one of the most viral things and the easiest ways to get your brand, your awareness out there quick, fast, in a hurry. The reels, it's something about those little 10, 15-second reels that catch your attention, that sticks with you, even though we have such a short attention span. It's so weird, man. It's like a life hack how these people figured out that the shorter the time frame is, the more it's going to stick out to you, because it's almost like those little short, quick videos are the ones that my kids go to all the time with the little weird foreign sounds and shit, you know. So it's definitely something. It definitely does something to the psyche. Even though it's only there for a moment, its impact is lasting. And that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? You might put out 10, 15 pieces of content a day. You might put out 2, 3 pieces of content a day. It don't matter what your what your increments you're putting it out at. As long as you're putting it out at a consistent basis, it's going to be one of those pieces of content that's going to sit up here and put you in the right view frame of somebody who will be able to expound more or help you, guide you in the right direction that you're trying to be in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know how close you are to that breakthrough. So don't fucking give up. You see, I'm here right now. It's been a lot going on. The chef been going through it, but the chef here, baby. Because ain't nothing in life that's worth having gonna come easy. You understand me? So don't be greasy and cheesy. Just take it easy. Yeah, I like that. Ain't nothing but actual factuals coming on in Well Runners, baby. We give it to you live and blood raw. Now, with that being said, it's like vlogging would be the cornerstone of the content foundation, if you will. Like, vlogs and videos like this is basically the foundation of what content is and how content expands, right? So if you want to hack culture, just think, all right, so it was some ways that Gary Vee was like, it would be almost instantaneous for somebody to take their favorite rap star. It's almost like what is his name? Lil Nas X did. He kind of came and he took an opportunity to advance on culture in a way and expound on culture, country music. I'm sorry, words getting slurred, but he took culture and brought it to country music, and that right there was like an explosion. It ignited. We seen it happen similar with Nelly and over again with Tim McGraw. But those little cosmic blast of energy where you have culture and other aspects collide, it really gets to the point that, we haven't even crossed the surface yet. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's just one aspect of where culture can grab out and reach out in other genres and bring awareness to it, or just take the fuck off. Right now with Web3, I think definitely this route that I'm on right now with vlogging, education. I feel like educating culture is essential because, for one, a lot of people still haven't had the opportunity to fully engage with technology as some of us have. So we always have to be aware of that. That's very important. Number two, I think a lot of people still need to get to a point of understanding. And I apologize for any background noise that you hear. Like I said, I'm working under a new setting, so I'm trying to make this thing work, baby. But if you are in a situation that you have, what was the word I'm looking for? When you're dealing with culture and you're trying to get them to understand new information better, when you're trying to embark on a new journey, you may have to approach the thing with a little finesse. So it was situations to where I felt like Nipsey was extremely brilliant with how he had the QR codes attached to the piece of merchandise, and you can scan this QR code and it may have an exclusive song on it that you never heard before, or it may have a couple of tickets to his next event, or it may have a free piece of merchandise the next time you visit the store. You know what I'm saying? That in itself was a way to hack culture with fashion. He definitely tapped into something that I haven't seen really expounded on since. And to be totally honest, I'm not gonna say weird, and I ain't even gonna really expound on it too much, but it's a little weird that nobody never picked back up on it, especially in Web3, and how many people took the merch route this year. Like, it's like different waves and phases, especially in this NFT, in this space in general. A lot of people like to ride a wave until it just rolled off and it disappears. You know what I'm saying? From ICOs to DAOs to DeFi protocols to NFTs that got staking to NFTs that give you back some kind of residuals on royalties to NFT communities that doing airdrops to NFT communities that are solely for the art to NFTs that are doing this shit just because they just want the bag. Like everybody out here for their own different reasons, but I feel like if you're not building the core, if you're not trying to advance the betterment of this space as a collective, then you're not here for the right reasons. Because I firmly believe that this technology is here to stay. I believe that things like this void right here that I'm using are gonna get more to the norm, where you have individuals who are conducting their Zoom call. Like I told y'all in the I'm a DJing episode, you can use your void for your Zoom calls. You can use your void for your Snapchat filters. This is the type of utility that I think a lot of people say they want, but they overlook when it comes to certain projects. You know what I'm saying? It's like you kind of want your cake and you want to eat it too. Then it's like, you really don't know what you want, because at the end of the day, you're just kind of following somebody else's footsteps. Once you find out why you're here in this space and what you can do to not only benefit from it, but to bring benefit to it, then you'll be much better off. Then you'll have a better understanding on what's the end goal? Because right now, if you're still out here without an end goal, then you're beating a dead horse. To be totally honest, you got to figure out what it is that you need to be out here doing, and you got to figure it out like with a sense of urgency, because there's no time to be around here lollygagging. Not today, baby. But hacking culture can be done by studying your competition. You want to study your competition. You want to study the dynamics of the people who you are going up against, man. You want to study the frequency. Like if it comes down to, say for instance, you were going to be a content creator. You need to study everybody else who's creating content. You need to study their frequency. You need to study what time frames they're putting up. You need to study how much, what percentage is shit posts and what percentage is actual threads that's going to be helpful. You know what I'm saying? And you can put a fine balance in there because, I mean, there are some accounts that do pretty well and they solely focus on factual information. You know what I'm saying? No real comedy or shit posting or anything like that. It's just straight facts. They giving you straight facts, nothing but information, and that's all you're going to get from it. Then you have your occasional like people that have a little splash of both. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I get on and I sit up here and I shoot the breeze with people. But my main goal is basically to motivate you, put you in the right position that you need to be in, get you the right information that you need to be able to pull off whatever the fuck it is that you're trying to do. I'm going to be that dude. Web Runners is going to be that place. We're going to get you where you need to go, and then you're going to flourish from there, baby. That's what it's about. Each one teach one. You already know how that thing go. But Nipsey, man, your impact in this space, dog. Like, I mean, I know you're looking down right now and you looking at all the growth and development and how big this revolution has gotten, this tech revolution has gotten big, my brother. And it's going to continue to keep on expounding because technology will forever continue to advance and continue to exceed our expectations. It's like technology and sci-fi go hand in hand. And anything that you can dream up in sci-fi, you can wind up creating in technology and making it so. So just continue to look for technology to continue to advance, man. I mean, dude, I can't give you enough credit, man. I feel like, you know, I was able to give you some awareness, but like everything that you've brought to this space and how impactful you've been for culture and how you've transpired so many things. It's just amazing that we even have this opportunity here right now. So shout out to you, Nipsey, man. We appreciate you. We love you, man. We miss you so much, man. Like, you're such an impactful person in this space, dog. And it was something about the way that Fabian Vogesteller, the head of Luxo. I like to talk about Luxo and, you know, Light Shields or whatever. Go do some research on them. As I always say, nothing I state is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure you do your own research. DYOR all the time. Never take anybody's word for however you feeling or what you finna do. Don't FOMO your ass into something because the chef said it. Because the chef out here making moves too. You understand? So, yeah, man. Luxo is a brand that kind of is building an ecosystem for creatives, right? And they have a niche where they kind of deal with digital wearables for the metaverse and for VR and AR. And a lot of these wearables come with the actual physical format of the product as well. And it kind of coined the term phygital. So, yeah, that's phygital. PHYIGITAL. Phygital. Remember that word. It's going to be a more than a thing soon because what the NFT space has done has created a safe environment for digital assets to come into fruition and to be able to replicate and mimic that which we have in the actual physical presence. So, like perfect example, Nike with Artifact, another culture shift and another culture hack. The NFTs that was dropped in the Monolith box for the CloneX project. If you don't know what the CloneX project is, go look them up. It's a pretty neat project. I like the avatars, although I can't, you know what I'm saying, afford it. Them bitches is expensive. But yeah, the Artifact box that got dropped to the CloneX holders had several special items in it. And a lot of what I seen came in the airdrop was like some exclusive shoes that I've never seen before. And the design, just the whole format was something that was out of this world. They look like some like angel halo shoes that can float and fucking bounce in the air and hover, and I don't even know. These shoes might can make you fly, especially for $7,000 in the digital form. But yeah, I believe that all holders are supposed to be getting a physical. Don't quote me on that one, but I'm just giving you an idea of how the process works and what the actual concept is. So basically, you will own the NFT, which will be the digital asset and the receipt, if you will, of the actual physical copy of the shoes. So you'll have both pair, and you'll be able to rock your digital pair in the metaverse anytime you want to, just like you can with the physical pair. You'll be able to also sell your digital pair just like you would your physical pair. I know most sneakerheads are going to be keeping their monoliths and their artifact shoes, but I mean, to each his own. Some people may got more than one. But that's just a good idea of how culture can be hacked through fashion. It's multiple ways to hack culture, man. It's multiple ways to get the word out on what your piece is and make your voice heard. Even if you're not speaking like I am right now, you can make your voice heard through art mediums. That's why NFTs, especially one-of-one artists, have seen so much success, yet we still have a long way to go, because with the oversaturation of a lot of these generative projects and just projects that are cash grabs, if you will, it dilutes the space from being able to focus on the actual art and the artist. So that's something that we have to work on as a collective, because if we focus on the actual artists who are making the art, we're going to continue to get dope art. When you focusing on the team that's behind finding the artist to drop this project so they can sit up here and feed their team, then you're going to continue to have this vicious cycle that we've been having. By the way, Luna ain't recovered. It did a little bit, drop down real low, but it's still up under a penny. So, y'all remember when we was talking about that last week? Y'all remember when we was talking about Azuki's? Y'all remember when we was talking about all these projects and how things have been going on? You want to make sure you associate your time, your energy, and all your efforts with things that correlate with your morals, your spirits, and your values. You want to make sure that you're putting yourself in position to succeed and win at all costs. Right now is the time and the opportunity to take advantage of what Web3 has to offer. Right now is the time and the opportunity to put yourself in a position that you find your niche and you take off with that motherfucker, man. This ain't no time to play, man. It's time to get it, baby. It's your boy Chef Crypto Chris signing out. We Rev Runners, baby. We've been running the Rev since 93, and we've been litty catching that wave since 2021, baby. We out this bitch. Y'all be safe. Long live Nip. Marathon continues, baby. Let's get it.